next one is the first song on our new album.
Well, I messed that up again. I have no
We
idea.
are so good at this.
No idea what I did wrong. But anyway, it's working. It's working now.
I
We're
actually
live.
kind of like that idea. I might have to go back in and re-edit it where our
Just-
screens like shift around and stuff like
Yeah.
Wild Wild West. That might be kind of cool.
Maybe I should do more practice. That's what I should do. I should do more practice. Are
Say,
we
like,
actually
the
live?
seventh time's the charm.
Somebody tell us in the chat. Are we actually live? Sometimes I don't hit the right buttons. Somebody said yeehaw. I'm taking that as a yes.
That we have a cowboy amongst us.
I think it's what's his name from Robert E. Howard. What's his name?
Ishmael?
Eldridge. No, the cowboy.
Breckenridge
Elkins. It's Breckenridge Elkins has joined the chat. I gotta get me some Breckenridge Elkins after I buy the next 2 fighting compendiums. I'm gonna get me some Breckenridge Elkins.
I've got the agent from Bear Creek from Zebra. Hey, we're live.
Awesome. That's good to know. Oh, you got us over there, huh?
Yep.
Great. Well, you know what? Happy Friday the 13th. I love when Friday the 13th falls on a February because that means you get another one in March.
That's right.
And that means 2 things. Friday the 13th means 2 things, right? It used to mean, well, it means 3 things. It used to mean when we were kids, I remember it meant like bad luck. Like Friday the 13th was bad luck.
Yep.
I don't remember it being like, oh, it's time to talk about horror now. I think that was a Friday the 13th movie thing. I think that's what caused
absolutely
it to become horror.
That's when because up until that we would just talk about like in school and stuff.
Yeah.
We talk about like superstitions and things like that. It was like they used it for that.
Yes.
But it wasn't until the movie came out that it turned into what it is, which is a mini Halloween in my opinion.
Yeah, and so we are going to today talk about some horror, but we are also going to get in the superstition realm. We interviewed the author of Portraits of Decay, who happens to be a friend in real life too.
That's right.
And so I'm going to talk a little bit more about that book because it has, the occult and voodoo and witches and no goblins that I can remember, but definitely zombies.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about that one because I think that ties into the Friday the 13th vibe. And we'll also do probably a bit of nonsense.
Just a bit of nonsense.
Nonsense. What kind of sense? Nonsense.
That's right.
If it weren't for nonsense, we wouldn't have any sense at all. The other thing I was thinking is
a laugh track.
You know how before we started, we actually started because we were really dropping bars there before we even hit record or hit go live. I'm like, is that normal? Those of you who go live a lot, is that normal? Like in the 10, 15 minutes when you're all just kind of gathering and before you hit the live thing, is it like, is it just, you're just dropping bars before you even get started?
Yeah. Well, I know when
10%
when Nick and Brian was on the show, like before you come into the chat, Nick's like, somebody hit record. We're wasting gold here. I'm like, he's not in the room. I can't hit the button.
I can't hit the button. Hit the button, Paul. I can't hit the button. I'll tell you what, Jeff, we're like when you go buy a hamburger, I don't know if they have hamburger. Well, they have probably Wagyu. They call it Wagyu in Japan, I think. But in the United States, we have this thing called hamburger where you can buy 10% sense and the rest is nonsense, or 15% sense and 85% nonsense, and it's cheaper to buy the less nonsense, the less expensive it is, which is weird. That seems the opposite of how it should be. But then
I like how you act like Jeff didn't live here, didn't grow up here. See, over here.
All right, Jeff answered my question. Yeah, before they get started doing their lives, like you really start dropping bombs ahead of time, wishing you would hit record sooner.
Like the opening act, before the Tonight Show comes on, there's a warm up comedian that comes out and
that's right,
gets the audience going.
I have my kids are home, and in fact, one of them has another kid sleeping over. And I just saw the DoorDash just showed up with the Taco Bell. Number one dad right here. I got him Taco Bell from DoorDash, and it costs like twice as much. Like you go to Taco Bell, you order some Taco Bell. What is it, like $30, $35? I ordered them Taco Bell. It's $75. Now I don't mind giving the DoorDasher a nice tip. But why do I need to send all that extra money out to the Bay Area of whoever owns DoorDash?
Speaking of Taco Bell, first of all, Taco Bell, when I used to eat fast food, I don't do it anymore, but it's been like almost 3 months. It was the only fast food that I'd spend the most amount of money at and then be hungry an hour later and have to eat something out of my fridge. Good. I'll fix it in post.
Yeah. Okay. I got to send a text to the people in my house and tell them the Taco Bell's here.
Well, while you're doing that, our friend Michael from Sweden sent me pictures the other day. Sweden finally got its first ever Taco Bell.
Really?
So I'm like, Pixar, it didn't happen. So he sent me all of his food. He sent me his receipt. I'm like, yeah, it's comparable to here. So it's expensive there, and it's expensive here.
I will say of all the fast food places, Taco Bell is one of my favorites because of the variety and the cleverness. They have managed to take the same 4 ingredients and create no fewer than 185 different menu items.
Yeah. Mystery Science Theater had a really good bit about that. They had all these different burrito words, and they would just mix it around on the board. But for me though, it's their Baja Blast, dude. I don't drink Mountain Dew. I don't really drink as much soda as I used to, but man, I got to get me a Baja Blast once in a while.
Yeah, man, it is those delivery fees and the service fees. Yeah, Baja Blast is in the category of what flavor is it really? It's not really a flavor that occurs in nature, I don't think.
It's Baja flavored, man.
Baja flavored. Ooh, that tastes like Baja. Nothing like. I love the taste of Baja in the morning. Tastes like Pulp Island. Welcome to all you Pulp Island fans, where we believe in the nonsense so much that we say it 15 times in the first 5 minutes of every show.
You got to get it out of your system, man.
That's right. Speaking of Taco Bell, tomorrow, after I've had my Taco Bell, I'll have to get it out of my system. All right. Speaking of Friday the 13th, I don't mind the Friday the 13th movies. I've never been a real like slasher movie fan.
Yeah, same.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I did not know this. They have a Taco Bell in Osaka. Or they had a Taco Bell in Osaka. Went out of business. 3 times the price. Plus that, Wagyu ain't cheap. And you get that beef burrito and it costs $245 because it's got that Wagyu stuff in it.
I mean, I know like Hardee's goes out of business and Arby's goes out of business, but a Taco Bell? That's crazy.
It's hard to believe. Is weed legal in Japan? Maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's hard to get weed. Am I allowed to say weed on the internet?
Only 15 times though.
Oh, okay. All right. Weed. Speaking of which, so speaking of the occult and superstition, we're actually going to be together, you guys, in a week or two. 10 days, I think. Less than 10
Oh
days.
yeah.
The library, the public library if I'm allowed in, maybe I should return that book before
They got your picture behind the checkout counter.
they have my daughter's picture. It's her card. So for those of you that didn't know the lore and the running joke, I checked out the Steve Costigan book. Robert E. Howard, Waterfront Fifth. Get out of the way, Roger. I told you to get out of the way, Roger. Let me put that over here. It's not a Steve Costigan book. It's a Robert E. Howard book, Waterfront Fists. I checked it out a good 3-4 months ago using my daughter's library card. I still haven't returned it. And Andrea is really mad at me. Well, I don't know if she's mad at me, but she suggested that I return it so that I don't give my daughter a bad reputation.
Gonna ruin her credit score.
We're about two things on the show. I just want to say smooth transitions and nonsense. That's the two rules of the show. What kind of
It's
sense?
always fun
Nonsense.
when a transition works, you know.
So we'll be together at the Michigan City Public Library. If you want to dox us and you want to show up, and like if you're an assassin that's been watching this, trying to figure out when we're going to be together, we do have a designated survivor on Pulp Island. So if you're thinking you're going to wipe out the entirety of Pulp Island, well, it's just going to be me and Paul. So I got
There'll be plenty of successors and
plenty
survivors.
Plenty of designated survivors on Pulp Island. But we're going to be together because our good friend J.R. Blaines, who wrote Portraits of Decay.
That's up to Jay.
I'm going to buy a physical copy when we go because he's doing a signing at that library. And by the way, it's Northwest Indiana, near Chicago. We grew up on Chicago TV. When I went to Europe as a foreign exchange student, people would ask me where I'm from. I would just say near Chicago because nobody's going to know what even Indiana is, right? Although they might go, oh, the race. Like,
well,
no,
you used to could say it's near the prison.
Near the prison.
Because the whole world knew about ISP, so it's not there anymore. Sort of.
What, ISP or the prison? What?
Both. The prison system is gone, but the building is still there.
Wait, I thought they canceled that. I didn't realize they were gonna. I thought they did away with the plan to get rid of the prison.
Nope, it's empty, dude.
Wow.
Or it's at least partially empty. I know inmates have been moved. We're doing great with talking about books, though.
Well, you can never go wrong talking about prison. People love prison.
I mean, it worked for Merle Haggard and Johnny Cash.
And Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of running prison jokes on Seinfeld. And yeah, Johnny Cash, who never really went to prison. I think he was arrested
just
once.
jail.
Yeah,
just jail.
Okay. You guys, you got to realize we eventually bring it back. Like, it might take a winding path, like that song "Every Day is a Winding Road," but it will eventually come back to what we were talking about. We're still in the transition though.
We'll get there when we get there.
We'll get there when we get there. We're still transitioning from Taco Bell to the occult. We're still in the middle of it. So we're going to be together in that town in about 10 days he's our friend, J.R. Blaines, Portraits of Decay, doing a signing and a little talking, and a little reading. And he asked me, despite being an intelligent person, he asked me to actually be the MC for the event.
Yes, after meeting you, he decided. After
meeting me, he still decided to do that. And not only did I say yes, but I said, do you have a PA system with microphones and stuff? And he's like, well, I don't know, it's a pretty big room. Maybe I will rent that. I said, I got you, because I was going to start a band at one time. And I did the sensible thing. This is when we lived in Chicago. I did the sensible thing, agreed with a couple of friends that we should start a band, and immediately went to a music store and bought a bunch of stuff. And then we got together for our first rehearsal and realized I can't really play the guitar. I can't really sing. We didn't have drums. So we had a drummer without drum set. We had me as lead guitar and vocals. I can't really sing. I can't really play guitar. And we had a bass player who's pretty good at bass. So we had that going for us. So anyway, the stuff never really got used. But I didn't sell it because I couldn't because by selling it, that would have been an admission that I was giving up on my dream.
Yeah.
Right. And I told all that to JR, like all of it, but this is over a text. And JR said, "That's funny." And you knew this. JR was actually in a band or a series of bands that actually did shows and stuff for a while. And he said when they stopped, he sold all of his stuff. And I'm like, "So you gave up on your dream?" No. He's like, "No, I'm a sensible human being. I figured if I ever started another band, I'd go buy some more stuff." You were like, you had the idea of being in a band and bought all yours. He didn't say any of this. He's too nice of a person. But if I were him, I'd be saying,
he thought it though.
It'd be like, I'm like that guy that's like, it'd be pretty cool to learn to sail. I go buy a sailboat and life jackets and all that stuff, but just never get around to doing it. All that is just to say this. He's doing a signing and some speaking, and I'm going to take my PA stuff up there and my microphones and things. And while we're there, we're going to talk about his book, and then we're going to get one of those little rooms that you can reserve at the library, and we'll do a little interview with him. The good thing is the last time we talked to him, I had not yet read the book because he was doing his stuff, and how when you write a book and publish it, you want to do all your talking and be on all the shows, and I didn't want to hold that up. I think we were in the middle of me supposed to be reading 4 other books at the time. But
yeah, you were in over your head a little bit there.
Yeah. I've read the book, and I got to tell you, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
I don't remember if we've talked about it again since I read it.
No, not at length, and especially not on this show.
Spoiler alerts, though. It's Southern Gothic horror set in the modern times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm not going to worry about spoilers. There'll probably be some, but maybe the spoilers will make you want to go read it, right? And you'll forget them before you read the book anyway.
Yeah, as long as you leave out the ending, I think we're good. Meaning, the last 50 pages.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
That last 50 pages, the book just kind of goes along, but that last 50 pages, it just gets cranked up to an 11, and I was like, wanting to find out how it ended, but also knew the ending was coming. So, maybe.
We're still in the middle of the transition, by the way, from Taco Bell to the occult, because I got to ask. What sort of meat are you using, Chadwick, for your taco meat tonight? Just regular hamburger? Do you call it? That's another good question. Do you call it hamburger or ground beef? I think I call it
hamburger.
I want to see what the coefficient of correlation is between people who say supper instead of dinner and people who say hamburger instead of ground beef, and vice versa.
You caught my reaction to that question.
I haven't seen it yet. I put it on Facebook just before we went live.
The painting is not called The Last Dinner. That's all I'm saying.
The Last Supper. How do you know that was that supper time? That's the painting, though. Are we really going to let Leonardo da Vinci determine our, language, our linguistics?
The man was a genius. He invented a great many things. Maybe he invented supper.
Leonardo da Vinci, in addition to the helicopter, invented supper. I guess we have to go to Half Price Books. Is there a bookstore up there we can hit? So I could scour the shelves for Robert E. Howard and Algernon Blackwood.
I just read Nick's comment.
Oh, listen. So it's gonna be awesome when it's. No, you know what's gonna happen, Nick, is you're gonna be like, okay, it's probably starting now, and Paul's gonna go Irish exit, and it'll end. Okay, this is actually intelligent. Like there's an intelligent comment. The Deep South is supper and lunch is dinner. And that, my friend Chadwick, that is accurate. I can totally confirm that because my family is from the Deep South, and they did when I was growing up. It'd be like I'd get home from school, my dad'd be like, "What'd you have for dinner?" That was the worst my dad accent I think I've ever done. I'm usually pretty good at it. I don't know what happened. Anyway, he would say in his Alabama accent, he would say, "What'd you have for dinner?" And I'm like, "We haven't had dinner yet." He'd be like, "No, we haven't had supper yet. But what'd you have for dinner?" I'd be like, "Oh, it was pizza burgers again."
Good old pizza burger. Yeah, my grandma said that too. Dinner and supper.
Skipping DoorDash is drawing a pentagram, and now this right there is a good transition from Taco Bell to the occult.
There you go.
Hey, how is it? Do demons have as high a delivery fee and service fees as DoorDash, or are they more reasonable?
Your soul is pretty irreplaceable, and so I'm thinking yes.
Speaking of demons, Chadwick's using ground turkey for tacos.
Damn. Can't do it.
And Levi has entered the chat. Taco occult.
One word.
No, that's accurate. And I bet in the Deep South also, in addition to saying supper, I bet because when I was growing up, it was hamburger. It was not ground beef. The sandwich was also called a hamburger. So hamburger was the sandwich. Hamburger was the meat used to make the sandwich, spaghetti, chili. We never made tacos because I don't think we knew they had been invented yet. All that. So the book starts out with, and I'm talking about J.R. Blaine's Portraits of Decay. There's like a prologue or whatever you call the thing that happens before chapter 1. And you can already tell it's creepy. Because
I was in.
I was totally in.
I was all in.
I was like, if the rest of the book is like this, I'm totally going to love this book. Well, the rest of the book wasn't like that. It's even better. It starts out with there's a sort of a domestic violence situation where we're gonna pick up where we left off. I'm talking about Knock 'em Stiff and get a little depressing here for a second. But this woman, she's gonna try to leave her abusive husband, and her sister is like, "Yeah, I will help you leave your abusive husband." But suddenly she doesn't want to leave her abusive husband, and you're sort of thinking, is this like the typical, I don't know, Stockholm syndrome sort of, codependency thing happening? But he sort of starts to hint that no, there's probably something a little more going on here, like something maybe supernatural happening that's causing her not to leave her abusive husband, right?
Yeah.
And that was really cool and spooky.
Yeah. If you've ever, not to dwell on it for too long, but if you've ever known anybody in those kind of relationships and you've seen that, it's very realistic. But from the point of view that it's told and the language that it's told, it's really creepy. And it's, like I said, it had that prologue had me hooked.
Yeah, that was really good. You guys are going to have to keep up because I might flash comments on the screen and not mention them. So just try to keep up. And part of this is for the part where people didn't catch the live too. All right. So then once she didn't decide. She just was like, I can't leave. And her sister actually DoorDashed them some Taco Bell because she was like, I'm at least not going to let them starve. And then the next morning after the Taco Bell, she thought she was possessed by a demon, but it turned out it was just the Taco Bell. Okay, so
they were live. Otherwise, I'd put a rim shot in there.
Rim shot, yeah, and an audience laughing or something. So then, so what this book is it follows these artists and the artist scene in New Orleans. And if you know anything about New Orleans, you're in for. Nobody sets a story in New Orleans without there being some occult.
Yeah,
some
be kind of a waste of a trip.
Yeah, that's right. What was that Disney? What was that Disney cartoon with the voodoo princess or whatever. What was that
Oh,
called?
the Frog Princess or the Princess and the Frog?
Princess and the
that?
Frog. Princess and the
Yeah,
Frog.
yeah.
My kids loved that movie
Yeah.
when it was out. But yeah, as soon as it was going to be set in New Orleans, you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna have this. We're gonna have this happen. It's got that guy. The book's got the guy with the top hat and the skull face and stuff. That's right, Chadwick. Princess and the Frog. Hi, sirs. That guy. What's his name? I forget his name.
Without cracking it open and delaying your story any further, I can't remember.
We can ask the chat. Does anybody remember that dude's name? He's like a demigod or something. Baron Samedi. That's right. Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, so he's in this. He shows up a few times. But anyway, it starts out. I just hid the chat. All right, there we go. It's back. So it starts out following the art scene, and I was reading it and like, this is nothing like the prologue. There's nothing scary. There's nothing like it's just beautiful because they just talk about how people enter the New Orleans art scene and how the galleries have this power, and then the artists don't have much power, so they have to kind of figure out what the galleries are going to want, but then the galleries are beholden to the collectors, right? And you're like learning all this, or at least you think you're learning all this stuff about it's like we've talked about before. A really good novelist, which JR is, a really good fiction writer, makes you believe you know something about something when you really probably don't, right?
Yeah.
It's not the goal of this novel to teach you what the New Orleans art scene is like. The goal is to make you feel like you do.
Yeah, and it does that great thing where, like, you know, it sets you up with that horrible beginning, and I mean that in the best possible way, and then slows it down and allows you to breathe, you know, and you get introduced to the characters as he goes along.
Yeah. So yeah, and you get introduced to the characters, and there are these romantic relationships and, you know, aspiring artists, and it was just beautiful. I think, yeah, and he loves New Orleans, JR does, and he said he was hoping that he wanted New Orleans to be a character in this novel, and he was hoping that people from New Orleans and other people that love New Orleans would appreciate what he did. I love New Orleans. I've been there. I've only been there a couple times, but it's a great city, man. It is awesome. It's the only city in the US, I think, that I've been to that feels like you actually visited a non-US city, you know, because it's very French influence. And he brings a lot of that French Creole, Haitian Creole sort of language into the book and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and he uses dialect and stuff. And my rule of thumb is avoid it at all costs. But he does it in such a way that like some writers will like really make it almost unreadable because there's so many like apostrophes, you know.
Oh, right.
But it flows smoothly through the whole thing.
Jake is asking the losers in the chat what's up. So
I think he's talking to somebody else, not us.
I will confess, I did use Google Translate a few times, and it does recognize Haitian Creole.
Nice.
So the Outlaw says the French New Orleans is noted for its excellence. It's true. It's excellent. It's an excellent place. And then there's a love triangle. Like the main character artist dude, like really has his eye on this other artist lady, but he's dating this rich lady, and he swears he's going to break up with her. But after this big art show that he's going to have, he's like, I can't break up with her before the show, or I won't be able to be in the show. And this is my big break, you know? And the lady that he has his eye on, and he's actually having the affair with her, is like, well, what about me? What's more important to you, me, or do you really love me? You know, so you get this sort of romantic tryst going on.
Yeah.
And then the rich lady finds out that he's cheating on her. And when she finds out, she goes to a voodoo priestess and gets a
Mhm.
potion. And this is the big spoiler. Turns him into a zombie. I don't mean a Romero zombie. I mean a voodoo zombie. The original zombie,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, a voodoo zombie. Yes. My favorite kind of zombie. Yes.
I do love me a good Romero zombie, right? Don't get me
Mhm.
wrong.
Yeah.
What was the big breakthrough movie?
Night of the Living Dead
Night of the
pretty much
Living Dead.
changed
I was getting
everything,
confused
but
because Living Dead has been used in so many movie titles, but
yeah.
Night of the Living Dead is the big Romero movie one, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Romero zombie.
But there were some really good voodoo zombie movies before that. But one of I had heard I forget which actor it was, but I was watching a documentary on when Night of the Living Dead came out. And back when that movie came out, there was like Saturday matinees where like they would do double features. And like so moms and dads because dads would do anything with their kids back then. Moms would drop their kids off at the movie theater on a Saturday morning afternoon to watch like Vincent Price's The Raven with a double bill with Night of the Living Dead. And the kids just came running like that scene in The Blob when everybody comes running out of the theater. These little kids didn't know what to think. It must have been great. That's one of those things that I wish I could have seen, like when it happened.
Turns out she didn't actually turn him into a voodoo zombie or a Romero zombie. She turned him into a Rob zombie, the worst zombie of all.
The shortest zombie of all.
I don't care what everybody says about Levi. I think he's funny. All right. So she turns him into a zombie, the voodoo zombie, right?
Mhm.
Which was a pretty cool scene. And the voodoo priestess says, whatever you do, you give him this potion and then you bury him alive. And then you dig him back up and then you give him the antidote, to make sure. And if you don't give him the antidote, like bad things will happen, right?
Nothing could possibly go wrong.
As soon as she said that, I was like, oh boy, I know what's going to happen. And she's given him the anecdote and somehow it goes wrong. So now he's just stuck being a zombie. And the way everything's described, like when he gets buried alive, he's buried in one of those. If you've ever been to New Orleans and took the cemetery tour, what they do is it gets so hot there. What they do is your family has like a crypt sort of thing, right?
Mhm.
And the reason these are all above ground is New Orleans is basically below sea level, and the
Mhm.
water and so they've got these dikes. Anybody who was around when Katrina hit knows what I'm talking about, right? And all right, Chadwick, you're right. I kept saying anecdote, didn't I? She no, I was right. It is anecdote. She said, you have to give him this anecdote. You have to be like, I was at the airport one time and I got turned into a zombie. But here's how you stop being a zombie. So no, I meant anecdote. I meant what I said. I said what I said. All right. So anyway, so they put you in this sort of mausoleum thing, and the sun gets so hot that within a year you just turn to ash. And then they push the ashes back to the back of the thing so they can put another family member out there so they can turn to ash. So he gets put in that thing and he's just got worms crawling all over him and dirt. And he's just like, you get to experience what it would be like to be buried alive in one of these things. And then she comes and gets him out of there. And now he has no free will and he has to do what she says. And apologies to JR. Long story short, she wants him to kill this person that he was cheating on her with.
Yes.
And so she tries to get him to kill her. And by the way, the gallery owner and some other artist that she hates. And he's only partially successful.
Yes, wackiness ensues.
Wackiness ensues. My favorite spoiler is at one point, see, he knows what's going on. And she knows that he's going to tell somebody what's going on and then she'll be in trouble, right? The only way she can get him not to tell is to get him to bite off his own tongue. And I was
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
and
It's
the
like
way
he went there, you
he
know.
went there, that caused me to bite on my tongue a little bit to see how hard I would have to bite off my own tongue. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't think I would like that very much. He also has the most gruesome, it's probably not the most gruesome murder scene I've ever read, but it is very gruesome and somehow beautiful. It was like poetry.
Yeah.
The way he wrote this scene where 3 or 4 people get murdered and
Yeah.
in the
Oh,
most
it's
ridiculous way possible.
yes, it's great.
It's like poetry. Like if Clive, what's that guy's name? Clive Barker or Clive
Mhm.
Cussler, whatever that horror, whatever that guy's
Clive
name is.
Cussler. It's
Yeah,
not the horror guy. You're thinking of Barker.
Barker. Like if he were a poet and wrote a poem about, anyway. So yeah, and then I'm not going to say how it ends, but it ends beautifully too. It's heartbreaking yet beautiful. So I do recommend this. It's horror, it's the occult, it's
Yeah.
that dude with the top hat, Baron
Yeah.
Samdi or whatever. It's got all that in it.
Well, and to answer Jeff's question, the abused housewife does show up later on in the book.
Where's Jeff's
It does
question?
tie into it. It's not just a random thing, it actually, because I wondered that myself the whole time I was reading it. When I first started reading it, I'm like, okay, so what happened to her? What happened to her? And then you're like, oh, that happened to her. So
I'm looking for Jeff's question. Where is it? So I can put it on the screen.
he said, the one that says, I'm confused, as are we all.
Where, like, tell me a couple of. Oh, there it is.
It's like
All right, there it is.
Yeah, there you go.
Got it.
Yeah.
I was wondering the same thing as I was going through the book, but about a little over halfway through, the lady that his true love, his one true love, who he unfortunately he was cheating on his girlfriend with. He didn't really like the girlfriend anymore. He really liked his one true love. She figured out that he had been turned into a zombie by his girlfriend. And so she was going to figure out a way to save him. And she had remembered because she had been in this rehab facility before. And she remembered somebody in the rehab facility behaved an awful lot like her now, like this guy was behaving, it's like the same smell because he smelled like decaying flesh and there were flies all over the place around him and stuff. She's like, that's just like that lady that was in the rehab facility with me or whatever that place was, the insane asylum, whatever we call those these days. And she decided she'd go talk to her to see if she could figure that out. And she figured out it's the same, whatever he's going through, the same thing she went through. And then her sister showed up and she asked the sister, like, what is going on? And she's like, her abusive husband got this potion from this priestess and turned her into this. And she's like, okay, well, I'm going to go to that priestess and get me some, whatever I need to get me to get him cured. Right. So that's how she played into it. Like the lady from the prologue, turns out there was a spell put on her, the same spell that got put on this artist dude. And then that's how she eventually found the priestess, the voodoo priestess, to get an antidote.
Right.
And it'd be a spoiler to tell you if it was successful, but if you've ever read a book, you probably have some idea.
One other thing that I really like about this book too is, like, 9 times out of 10, see, JR is not a visual artist, and 9 times out of 10, when a movie or a book tries to, like, get you in the mind of an artist, like a visual artist, it doesn't work. It's like they just can't get it right. As a visual artist, 9 times out of 10, I'm like, you didn't even ask somebody who painted what they thought, but he gets it pretty damn accurate in this, and what goes on in an artist's head when they're working on stuff, what their muse is and stuff like that. So Yeah, it's all the way around. It's a really good book. And to answer Jake's question from a while back, because he was
Wait,
confused
give me
about
a
what's
sec.
going
Give me
on.
let me okay, let's I know we're getting better at this, but let me find the question and let me put it on the screen. Like where is it? Like how far back?
Oh God, that's why I was just gonna go ahead and say it's a while back.
Is it before Dang It Rob? I do have the crunch wrap,
I think it was before that. Yeah,
but it has a bite out of it. It's before that one. Is it
yeah. Keep going, because
Jake?
there.
I drew a pentagram and called you forth. Did you bring my crunch wrap supreme? Is it before that?
You're getting warmer.
Is it before what's the deal with all these zombies?
What's the deal with all these zombies? Yeah, keep going.
Okay. It's probably before Taco Bell hot sauce pocket.
That was our band name.
Is it before what's this stream about? Why are we here? How did I get here? Isn't that a Talking Heads song?
That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah. We're just talking about scary shit we've read just because it's Friday the 13th, or as I call it, mini Halloween.
Suddenly it's like Spicoli in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I'm sitting here eating some pizza, learning about the occult.
Right?
If Jerry Seinfeld had played Spicoli. I think we need to answer Chadwick's question. Am I the asshole for cheating on my girlfriend with my one true love who made me into a zombie and had to eat my tongue? No, not the asshole. Not the asshole. I mean, he was gonna break up with her. He just needed to use her to get this really great art show so he could advance his career. I mean, who among us hasn't done that?
It's very relatable.
Yes. It's like a Twilight Zone episode. Steve is living the stream in reverse. Nice. I love the Twilight Zone.
Yeah. I was a bigger fan of Night Gallery, though. And again, I am not diminishing the Twilight Zone. I am merely raising Night Gallery.
You know what else it's like? It's like the picture of Dorian Gray.
Yeah. I think that may have been a Twilight Zone episode, if not maybe a Night Gallery episode.
I'm 18 pages in. I'm going to finish this at some point, and we're going to do an episode on it.
I can't wait.
Omnivorous Reader is talking about never managed to advance my art career. Must not have read the memo about zombies' girlfriends getting you there. Well, I mean,
it's never too late.
You got to do what you got to do, man. It depends on your level of commitment. All right.
Good.
So anyway, we will never stop talking about this book because it's our friend. But
and it's good. We're not just
we'll be interviewing him in a few weeks. Going to his book signing. And I'll buy myself a physical copy. I read it on the Kindle. I'll buy myself a physical copy so I can get it signed.
And what is it they say? Full transparency. I bought my own copy. It was not given to me to give a favorable review. I was not bribed with this book. It is not what I would normally read. But I'm glad I did.
Night Gallery did adaptations of Lovecraft's Cool Air and Pinkman's Model. Was that a Breaking Bad spinoff?
I love Night Gallery.
The Caterpillar. Is that a Night Gallery or Twilight Zone? The Caterpillar. We're taking
I'm not sure. I don't remember. I'm terrible with names of episodes, though.
I don't blame you.
But, I like my horror, so I do like my ironic twists and stuff like that, and my cautionary tales and my political commentary and stories, but I just like me a good horror story.
By the way, JR, I don't remember if I told this story on any of our episodes, but when my son turned 21, we went to Chicago sort of to celebrate, but also just sort of like because we like Chicago. And my son requested that I take him out to a bar to kind of show him how it works. Like, how do you order? How do you pay? How much do you tip? All that kind of stuff. So I was like, I haven't lived in Chicago in like 20 years, so I don't know what's still there, what's not there. JR lives in Chicago, so I texted him and he's like, he starts listing all these things, and then he's like, "There's this dive bar." I was like, "You had me at dive bar. We're going to a dive bar." So we go to the dive bar, and it's not, it's not too far from Wrigley Field. It's like if you know Chicago, it's like Clark and Belmont area, maybe Clark, maybe a little farther south than that. But anyway, it's where the alley used to be. I don't know if you guys
Keep
know
telling your story. I gotta
alley.
let the cat out. Keep telling your story.
Oh my God, you guys have no idea. You think I'm bad when Paul's here to keep me under control? You have no idea what's about to happen. So anyway, so we go to this dive bar, and my son orders a martini, and to which the bartender goes, "Well, due to the fact that we pretty much don't have anything that goes, we have vodka, we have gin, but we serve hard drinks here for men who want to get drunk. We don't need characters. We don't need people like you around here to give the place character." That's actually a quote from It's a Wonderful Life and not what the bartender actually said. But he did say, she did say, she was actually pretty cool about it. And she's like, well, we have like we don't really have vermouth, and we don't really have olives. We don't really have, we have one martini glass. And she's like, we're a dive bar. And so he's like, "Oh no, I get it." Later we were joking that it's like the meme where they go, "Sir, this is a Wendy's." It was more like, "Sir, this is a dive bar." but he's like, "Okay, just a whiskey on the rocks." So she brings him a shot of whiskey with an ice cube in the shot glass.
Nice.
And I said, "You know what I ordered? I ordered an old style." Anybody who knows Chicago, has been to Chicago, you know that gets me immediate street cred to order an old style. So I had an old style. He had a shot of whiskey with one ice cube in it, which was fun. And they only take cash, of course, because they're a dive bar.
Oh, those are the best bars.
Yes,
they only take cash, but they may have the ATM in the building, but they only take cash.
That's right. Levi, the answer is yes. It is. The locals call it the murder bar. It's where two different serial killers, John Wayne Gacy and Jeffrey Dahmer, used to hang out at this bar. They weren't there that night. Well, who knows? Maybe they were. It's Friday the 13th. Maybe they were there, Steve. How do you know they weren't there? I don't know that they weren't there. So then we're leaving the bar, and I probably told this story before, but I'll tell it again because you know what they say. Every episode is somebody's first episode. So I'm like, you probably still want a martini. He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "This is Chicago. We'll walk outside. You probably can't swing a dead cat around here without hitting a bar that serves martinis." So we walked out there, found a dead cat, started swinging it around, and didn't hit any bars. So I text JR and I'm like, "Hey, I don't know if you're up, but we had a good time at the murder bar. But now we want a martini. What do you suggest?" And he had two different suggestions. We went to one of them, and it was awesome, and got ourselves a couple of martinis, and they were great. And we're sitting there again. If you know Chicago, this will not surprise you. We were at like Halstead and Addison, that, maybe like that area. And we look around, and my son goes, "I think this is a gay bar." I was like, "Well, I don't know." I was like, "First of all, 90% of the people in here are gay. The only reason it's not like 95% is I'm not gay and I'm here. But I think you're right. But this is one of the highest concentrations of where gay folks live. And so is it really a gay bar, or is it just that there's a high population of gay people that live here? Therefore, almost any bar you walk into is going to be mostly gay people." And so we had that little sort of philosophical conversation, and we left and walked by a gay bar. And I have no doubt it was a gay bar because I saw the server walking around wearing like a leather, like really skimpy leather outfit, right? With just like straps, like a G-string with suspenders. G-string with suspenders. I think that would be a pretty cool outfit, but all leather. I was like, now that's a gay bar. And it had a bunch of rainbow stuff hanging and stuff. But the place where we got the martini was just like good martinis, nice bar, like cocktail lounge. That just happened to be a place where there were a lot of gay people. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
See, now normally we're recording, and then I ask you how much you want left in, or so.
I was being really careful. I was being really mindful of the fact that we're live.
Yes.
So, hey, we should have ordered. Oh, you're right, Chadwick. Chadwick's on fire tonight. Chadwick is competing with Levi for the best chat person in the chat. I don't mean best person. You're all great people. Everybody's great. I'm just talking about, production. It's all about efficiency and production.
Yeah.
When you got up to leave, I told everybody, if they think it's bad when you're here to control me, they'll not realize what they're in for. So Jeff was
this time, because the cat will stand there at the door and try to get out, and usually what'll happen is I'll let her out, and she'll immediately come back in. But so far, she's out there in the house somewhere, raising Cain. Levi,
you joke about Gacy and Dahmer being a bad buddy movie. You should have heard their morning show. It was even worse.
It was on the AM dial.
The dive bar on Pulp Island is called SOBs.
Yep.
Our little corners toward the back. I love that.
That's near the bathrooms, man, because priorities.
Yeah, the murder bar is definitely not a martini place. That's for sure. A Shriley Temple. Roy Rogers. Roy Rogers, is that the one? No, that's Arnold Palmer. I was thinking of where you mix like tea and lemonade. I should have ordered that at the dive bar. I probably would have gotten myself kicked out. And Jake's not. Jake's just not. Just so you know.
He's like, you know what? I'm not.
Yeah. All that having been said, Paul, you got a few scary books you wanted to show, right?
Yeah, I could talk about one or two.
We'll switch to bourbon.
Okay. So, Skull. I want to talk about one of my favorite books of all time. One of these books that I fell into backwards because I saw the movie, and the movie was so bad I loved it, and I tracked down the book, and that book is
River of Death. Oh, sorry.
The Keep by F. Paul Wilson. Oh man, this book has everything you want, Steve. It has a vampire,
hot Cheetos.
It has Nazis.
Oh,
it has regular army German soldiers fighting with the Nazis.
Nice.
And a really cool immortal character who kind of would remind you of like the Highlander almost. But The Keep is this great story about this German army that rolls into this little town in like the mountains to basically like occupy it for future troop movements and stuff. And they find this keep. I'll show you. I'll give you a little tour of the book real quick. They find this keep with a little cool map.
Hang on. Do that again. Keep doing it. Keep doing it till I say stop. Keep going.
Okay. Well, so they find this keep.
There we go.
And the thing about this keep is they notice the soldiers notice that when they go into like they're going to use it for like their headquarters, they notice all these like weird crosses on the inside, and they can't figure out why these crosses are all on the inside until a couple of advantageous soldiers sneak out in the middle of the night, and they figure there's all kind of gold and stuff in this keep, so they basically make a hole in the wall to get to where they need. And there's this vampire named Molasar who is like nobody. He's like Wu-Tang Clan. He is no one to f with. And the soldiers start turning up dead. And as the Germans are getting their asses kicked, the like a SS troop rolls in to basically take over the thing, and they won't listen to the guys that are already there, it's like, just stay out of there. Don't go there. You don't want to go. Oh, no, we're gonna go in there, and wackiness ensues. The movie is great. It's awful, but it's great. And the reason why it's awful is because, like, it started out as a 3-hour movie. It was made by Michael Mann, who was the brainchild behind Miami Vice. That dude was making small screen cinema while people were making TV shows. Well, so he makes this movie. It's 3 hours long. The producers go, it's too long, and they dissect it to like an hour and a half, and it's awful. Nothing makes any sense. There's cut scenes in it that, like, they jaggedly go from one scene to the next. You're like, you get whiplash. It happens so fast, and it's got this crazy. I want to say it's Tangerine Dream. It's got this crazy Tangerine Dream soundtrack that doesn't work for it, and that's why it works for it. So I found out it was a book, and I found it at the library. This is not the library copy. I returned my library copy.
You want to borrow my daughter's library card?
No. In fact, I have Waterfront Fist, so I don't need to borrow that from you to get her in any further trouble. But where was I going with this?
Sorry, I interrupted you again. My apologies.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'll fix it in post. But so Molasar is this, like, vampire who basically convinces this really old dude to, like, help him, like, escape, because he can't really get out of the keep. But in return for helping him get out, he makes him young again. And in the movie, it's going to be like that. In the movie, Sir Ian McKellen plays the old man, and it's 1981, I think, 81, 82. He's got all this aged makeup on in the beginning, and it's funny because minus the beard, they did a pretty good job because he looks like Gandalf. So, he de-ages the old man and just proceeds to wreak havoc on the soldiers. And there's this cool, like, what do you call it? Like,
miniature golf.
Miniature golf. This, you and I get that joke. Nobody, and that's okay. No one will ever.
And anybody else who's seen Brother from Another Planet.
That's true. There's this rivalry between the German soldier and the SS officer, and how back during World War I they had the two of them were in the same foxhole together, and there was a whole big mess that happened there. It's one of the best books I've ever read. I never read it when I was younger because, I don't know, I never thought the name F. Paul Wilson sounded like a guy who would write scary stuff.
F. Paul.
And
F. Paul.
That's right. F that guy. The thing is with this dude, with Wilson, is his next book, I think, was The Tomb, and that started what people refer to as the Repairman Jack series. And because it was so good, yeah, there you go. The short answer is no, but maybe. He retconned this book into the Repairman Jack series. And as time went on, he even went so far as to go in and, like, change it a tiny bit. But I kind of have a weird thing when authors do that, where I get that it's their own work and they can do what they want with it as long as they still own it. But I tried to find the original, and to the best of my knowledge, this has the original story in it.
And no Repairman Jack.
Yeah, Repairman Jack. I've only read The Tomb, but my friend Faith of Sorry Faith fame loves the Repairman Jack series. But because the Glaken, who's the vampire slayer in this story, goes on to appear in the Repairman Jack series, I'm told. So that's how he kind of shoehorned it into the as the starting of the Repairman Jack series. But The Keep, dude, this book is so good. If I could find a cheap enough copy for you that I knew was, like, close to the original, you would have this book, dude. This book has everything you want.
Does it have Arctic horror?
Alas, no. Almost everything.
Almost everything. Okay.
Everything but Arctic horror.
Somebody
But
said Faith loves two things: this story and puns.
Oh, she loves puns.
I didn't know who Repairman Jack was, so I was saying I don't think Repairman Jack is in this one, but Wolfman Jack is. Since we're talking about Chicago.
Right. But there's more.
But wait, there's more.
Wilson hated the movie. He walked out of it.
You mean F. Paul?
And he said F this movie, I'm walking out of it. Well, several decades later, when IDW approached him with the concept of doing a comic book miniseries based on his book, he's like, on one condition, I write it. So he wrote this. He wrote this is the IDW comic book. This is my hardback from IDW of The Keep. It was a 4-issue miniseries, written by Wilson and illustrated by one of my favorite comic book artists of recent years. This is Matthew Dow Smith. Let me see if I can find a really good. Smith does this really cool, like, static imagery that like seems to have action even though they're just standing there. See if I can get like a good, like, yeah. It's very Hellboy like, some people might say, but I love the fact that he does black and white and red as the only 3 colors or 4 colors in this. Like when the vampire shows up and Molasar shows up, like, see, here's Molasar. Here's the cover where it shows up.
Moldasar.
Yeah.
Looks like Jesus.
Yeah. Well, you know, Jesus was the original undead, so there's that.
And a race car driver.
Yes, and he drove so his dead damn fast. Like, see here, where he mixes red into the book. It's beautiful. So yeah, I picked this up 5 or 6 years ago, but it was before COVID, so 6 or 7 years ago. But yeah, if you want to read it as a comic book, it's 4-issue trade. This is the hardback, but I'm pretty sure it's probably in a trade paperback by now.
Are you familiar with what Jeff is saying? Mignola-esque.
Yes, Mike Mignola created Hellboy, and Matthew Dow Smith is very Hellboy-like. There's a couple of artists who have that feel, and I've even dabbled in it myself because there's just something. See how cool this is? See? So the problem is you get on camera, you get like a lot of small frames, but you know, it's blown up like this. I guess you can see it better. And I wish I had the discipline for just using like gray and the same tone, but visually I'm not there yet.
Don't sell yourself short. You could be there with hard work and dedication. Time. It's
so good. I'll stop holding it up so people can stop looking at my big ugly face. But no, man, this is a great. The Keep is one of my favorites. Nice. The Tomb, I like the Tomb, but this has what I like, which is vampires killing Nazis. So
and Arctic
or anybody killing Nazis.
Anybody killing Nazis, yeah, that's that's a timeless joy. A timeless joy, killing Nazis. Yes.
And for the longest time, the Keep wasn't available on any kind of like you couldn't rent it, as far as the movie goes. So I had a bootleg copy of it for years, but I think it's out on Blu-ray now. I think they've got like a 4K, but unfortunately you'll never get the 3-hour supposed masterpiece because that stuff doesn't exist anymore.
You had a bootleg copy, but since it's Nazis, it's called a jack bootleg.
That's
copy.
called a bootlicker copy. It's a Jack boot.
Bootlicker leg. Bootleg.
Your joke's better.
I don't know, man. They're both good. Anybody Killing Nazis was my band name in college. I don't know if you knew that. And the Bootleg Lickers was my other band name in college.
The bootleg lickers.
The bootlicker, like bootleg. The Jack Bootleg Lickers.
There you go.
Okay, I'll stop.
Yeah, but man, I'm telling you,
Hey,
this
Levi,
book
you
is
gotta
not
be
as
fast. You gotta be fast.
it's not as creepy as it's not as creepy as the Manitou, but it's a different type of horror story than the Manitou.
Remind me about the Manitou because it's been about a year, I think, since we talked about the Manitou.
We talked about the Manitou back in October, so last year at least. But the Manitou is the one where the evil like witch doctor spirit from witch doctor, that doctor, the evil spirit, Native American spirit was basically possessing this girl in the she was pregnant on her back. And you made the one joke, and which made the one guy mad,
and you cut it out.
Stormed
You
off.
cut that out, though. You were going to cut that out during editing. You were going to fix it in post. You left it in, and I made that one guy mad because I talked about abortion.
That one guy, that one guy who, the less said about him, the better.
Who doesn't like a joke about abortion? Come on. Wait, are we live? Never mind. Forget that. I forget I said. Oh boy. Oh boy. Hey, yeah, me too. Oh yeah, that's right. Because when he was reading it, like creepy stuff was happening.
My necklace fell and hit me in the throat because I was laying down, and the trees were like scraping on. And there was a storm outside because and I had wood paneled walls, so there were like the faces and stuff were in the wood paneling, and that necklace hit my throat, and I flipped the book up in the air because it was getting intense at that point in the book.
Nice. I love that.
Yeah.
Your necklace said, "Let me hit his throat." It's the new style. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. When I'm on the mic, suckers run. For the rest of the video, I'm just going to recite Beastie Boys lyrics. No, that was good, Jeff. You're absolutely right. I loved that. That was early on in our career, our long and illustrious career. It was early on, and when he did that, I was like, I think we might have something here. This might be we might be able to do this booktube thing because that was really cool. That's one of the things I love about reading is like when you hit these, just once in a while you hit this moment where you read something and everything aligns, like time and space comes together with what you're reading. It's like when I was reading Algernon Blackwood in the Forest, it's so cool.
You pulled your feet in from outside the tent when you're reading The Wendigo in the Woods.
That's right. The Wendigo in the Woods and other poems by Steve. Those are cool. The Keep.
Yeah.
So you talked about German soldiers fighting with Nazis. Did you mean fighting against Nazis or fighting alongside Nazis?
But again, there's a rivalry between the two. Like I said, the two commanding officers basically hate each other from incidents that happened during World War I, and how the SS officer was a coward, basically. And I'm not saying the Germans were right during World War II, because they weren't, but this guy, the SS officer, is a complete coward, and the other officer knows his shit, and drank the Kool-Aid and is following the orders that what he thinks is what they're doing is right, kind of thing. I don't want to go into all that, but they have a rivalry, so they're fighting against each other through the whole thing.
The reason I ask is there was an actual event toward the end of World War II where, and it's an interesting Wikipedia assignment. If anybody's interested, there was a time when like some Nazi diehards like occupied like a fortress or something, and the German army and the United States Army fought side by side to expel these Nazis from this thing. And I was wondering if maybe the author was inspired a little bit by that.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I know
You
this is
can tell
how
me.
this is how
We're
old
friends.
this is how old my family is. Like my uncle who fought in World War II basically said that you get a couple of SS guys down in a foxhole and you think you got a whole platoon down there. Those guys fought like mad because they were high for starters. And knew somebody was going to come along and replace them and shoot them if they had to replace them. So that's the same uncle that I told you the great story about. I guess I'm flying solo. Hello. Did he do the Irish goodbye on me? Paul is lost. He lost his co-host. This is it, folks. I don't dance. Mhm.
Don't panic. Do not panic.
Okay. I don't know what that was about.
No, I know what it was about. My internet went out.
Oh,
The simplest of all explanations. So now I've connected to my phone. I'm tethered to my phone. So if I'm slow or it gets choppy, you'll know why. But
okay. Well,
expect any second for my kids to come running through the door going, the internet's out.
well, was it Elspace Archives was asking a question
All right. How do you know?
because I'm reading the comments.
Paul is in deep thought. Was that the question?
No, I think I froze.
Man,
He
look
was
at all these
asking about-
comments that happened when I was offline. Jeez.
Yeah.
It's repair. Everything is Arctic Horror. If you try hard enough. Steve took my jack boots joke. Sorry, Levi, you got to be fast around here. Documentary about that German. Yeah, man. I got to look into that more and read the Wikipedia article about it. Paul's in deep thought. Yeah, because you froze at one point like this. That's cool.
Oh. Well, I'm glad it wasn't like that and not like
staring contest. I love that. Remember those?
Yeah. When we were young and had so much time to waste.
Finally, you've cut off all the dead weight. Yes, Levi. Paul would have an awesome channel, probably twice as many subscribers if he would just get rid of me.
But it'd be half as much fun.
They were trying to tell you that you're on air and that you should keep talking. That's what Jeff was trying to tell you.
Oh, okay.
What's the next important of being earnest?
Yes. Well, we're probably going. He's referring to the Return of the Son of the Show, the other channel that I do with some friends, and you're on periodically when you're in town. But we're thinking about doing the Poseidon Adventure. We got kind of geared up to do it a couple of weeks ago, but then Mark's having some problems at his house, so we had to let that problem take care of itself. But we thought we'd do Poseidon Adventure next after I bought him the book. So
It's the Upside Down Boat Book movie.
Yep.
Was that a book or a
Yep.
movie? It was both. Was it both?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was both.
You laughed and Paul went silent. That happened once when we were in high school.
Sorry, I stopped talking. I took a vow of silence.
That's right. That's right.
Which got in the way of my telemarketing job.
Remember when you worked at the suicide helpline and you lost your voice? How many people did you lose that week? Okay, never mind. I should have done a trigger warning before I said that. Oh, anyway, so I'm back. Paul's back. We're all back. We're all back, and he's going to edit out that thing. Yeah. So, were you going to show any other books or just?
I have one I'll show off. It won't take very long to talk about.
Do it.
And I'll probably go in depth, maybe a little more about it in like 2 weeks. Okay. So I picked up this phone book. Jeff's done a video about it. Nick brought it up, and so I picked it up. But I picked up the Big Book of Adventure Stories, and one of the the reason why I got this was because of our video we did on River of Death. So I wanted to find some more adventure type stories. There's no pictures in this really, but it has all kinds of different categories for the types of stories that's in it. And one of them, like, let me find it here. There's like a category for sword and sorcery, man versus nature, island paradise, sand and sun. Something feels funny, but the one I want to talk about quick that kind of ties into this is what's it under here? We're so good at this.
What do you mean?
Under man versus nature, there's this really cool, very short H.G. Wells story about this like seaside type like town that gets terrorized by these like weird semi-translucent squids that kind of come ashore, and it's got some great imagery. It's got some really good action in it for a short story. Yeah, the Sea Raiders, where like when you read like H.G. Wells, he's not really known for like even a story as action packed as say War of the Worlds. It's not action packed, but this little short story, there's so much that happens, and it moves along so quickly. But it's just this. It's kind of like The Birds, where like the birds show up, they terrorize this town, they go away. That's kind of what happens with these things.
Spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
I haven't read The Birds yet.
But how it gets there, it's kind of hard not to spoil like a 10-page book, 10-page story. But this is I'll save some of my other critiques that are non-horror related to later on when I do a video about this. But yeah, thanks to Jeff for bringing this up and Nick talking about it. And this is a lot of fun. But yeah, the horror story where they're just these squids just come up on the beach, and it's really cool.
Is that the one with the car that comes out of the sea and speeds through the town at night?
I
think he's confusing cephalopods with Mustangs. Oh, I'm not even going to read that out loud.
But yeah, the Sea Raiders. I love, as you know, H.G. Wells is my favorite dead writer, and War of the Worlds is my favorite book of all time, kind of tied with Dogs of War. But Wells's short stories, they're a whole different animal. They're a lot of fun. I read one about a magic shop that was really good, about the perception of magic between like a father and his son and this magic shop. There's one about a crystal egg that it's kind of like a two-way camera for Mars. All kinds of cool stuff like that. He was a great short story writer.
Hey, Brian. Thanks for coming. We decided to do a Bad Taste Book style live where we're not going to edit anything out and do
Not a
lots
thing.
of sniffling. So
No, but I was, Brian. I was just talking about the Big Book of Adventure, because I picked this up after we did our River of Death episode, because I wanted to find some like the intro to our video where I took the most exciting part of the book that Nick was talking about. I'm looking for more of that, so I grabbed this to check it out, and so far so good. But yeah, I read the Sea Raiders by H.G. Wells.
for those of you watching who are under the age of 30, Paul called that a phone book earlier. What he's saying is we actually used to get books delivered to us for free. We didn't have to pay for them. Delivery was free. The book was free. And you got it once a year. All right. And it had the name, address, and phone number of every single person that lived in your town. I'm looking at the wrong camera. Sorry. This camera, this one? Okay. And it was huge. It was really thick. So when we say phone book, it's a thick book.
One might refer to a phone book as it's as big as a big book of adventure stories.
Yes, we used to do that when I was like a kid.
When I told you we were talking on the phone the other day, I'm like, what kind of crazy world did we live in when we just called people just out of the blue? You know how invasive that is?
The era of analog doxing. Analog doxing was actually the name of my band in college. I don't know if you knew that.
It was an acoustic band.
Whoa. Normally I'd say we're not going to do any better than that, but I think we got a few more up our sleeve. The other thing you might have heard people say is he could read the phone book and I would enjoy it because the phone book is just a list of names. And the other thing, to tell you how small the town was that we grew up in, the phone book we used to get was like maybe it was like maybe this thick as this book, Weird Frequencies, Strange Stories by Stranger Authors, edited by Jay Swick. It was maybe that thick. This might be even a little thicker than the phone book from our hometown.
Well, and you consider half of it was ads.
Just like this book. A lot of ads in this book. I remember the first time I saw a phone book from a bigger city like South Bend, Indiana, or God forbid, Chicago. Chicago like would have multiple phone books. And they were like this thick. I was like, holy moly. They were
when you lived in that brownstone around the corner from like that. When you lived in that brownstone apartment, I stole your neighbor's phone book that was on the front porch because it was so big. And I'm like, I'm never going to be want for names again for my stories.
And you could practice, you could really strengthen your wrists by trying to tear it in half. All right. Let's catch up on the chat here. Read The Golden Anaconda in that anthology, Paul. Jungle adventure galore in that one.
Okay, I'll check it out. I didn't want to touch on the ones I've already read till we do a video about it.
There's a brief period
theme for this, but
there was a brief period after college when I couldn't find a job, so I got a gig at a dance place. I was a dancer, and my stage name was The Golden Anaconda. See, Levi, you got to be fast.
and I used to show up because I got free beers, so because I knew one of the dancers.
That Levi was confused by something. Let's see. Not an H.G. Wells stories. He was confusing for the green car. Okay, he was talking about the car driving out of the ocean, and he was thinking the green car about William F. Temple.
That's what I say.
Every time
I'll check it out. I can find it.
I think Levi is a serious artist, and I enjoy his art. But whenever he chats a serious comment, I'm always looking for what's the joke. I don't get it. Like, oh no, he's like saying a serious thing. Okay, never mind.
That's right.
Or as I like to call him, the outlaw. Not just any outlaw, the outlaw. All right. So we've had some fun recently. We had Andrea on. That was awesome. She was like,
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I really went having her on's like, if you have it would be like if you like just had just a silly little podcast about science and Neil deGrasse Tyson comes on. And you're like, you have to interview and talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson about, the silly little science thing that you were thinking about. Because she knows her stuff. I mean, literally and literarily.
Yeah. What were we thinking talking about Hodgson with her?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and she made me appreciate the story more. Like,
Yeah.
I know a few times I was like, I don't know if I got it. And then I said, she's like, once she got done, I was like, okay, I'll probably read it again. Because with that perspective, I get it now. I don't get it, but I'm like, I'll probably enjoy it more.
Yeah.
And then
I think you would.
I think the afterwards coming out tomorrow or something, probably.
It'll be out by Sunday.
I was fascinated. She's not just a librarian. She's a very particular kind of librarian. I won't spoil it for you guys, but I loved hearing, I was telling my family about it. Like we were talking to this, this booktuber, and she was telling us about it. I was telling them the stuff that she gets to deal with and the kind of things the kind of equipment and books and things that they have there at the library that she's responsible for. And now she's the director of communications, which is awesome because she's a good communicator. Anyway, go watch the Borderlands thing. She's out
like the
afterward.
She's like the Liam Neeson of librarians.
She's still
a very specific set of skills.
I think she would be a good what was that with can you edit this out?
Sure.
Who's the guy that played the main guy in Raising Arizona? Nick Cage. And what was the show where he stole the Declaration of Independence?
National Treasure.
National Treasure. She'd be like the National Treasure librarian if like somebody stole like a medieval text, a very important medieval text. She would be the one they would bring in to like track down who stole this very important medieval text. Like if somebody stole the however many theses that Martin Luther hung on that church door, like if there was a copy of that somewhere and somebody stole it, they'd be like, we have to get Andrea from Infinite Text. She'll be the only one that can help us track this thing down. In the movie, they would not get Nick Cage to play that character. Anyway, yeah, the afterward's gonna be great.
Yeah. I've seen it. I've edited it. It's great.
You always get to see him before I do. I just, you know what? That's exactly right. She does class up the joint. I don't know if she's comfortable with that role, but it's kind of like as we were getting ready, Paul's like, I don't know, should we wear bow ties or something for this? Are we okay to dress like we normally do? I forgot to wear a hat. I was embarrassed.
Well, that was the funny part before we started recording was before you came in. She's like, I don't know whether I should have dressed up. I don't know what to dress up as. And I'm like, half the time we're making it up. Like, I'll turn the camera on and Steve will be in costume, and I'm like, oh shit! So I'll run and go put on a costume. So
it's true.
We don't know half the time ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. The reason we went live tonight, in case you're like, yes, it's Friday the 13th, and we thought that's cool. Our favorite holiday is Halloween. Second favorite is Friday the 13th. Our mine is April Fool's Day, but third favorite.
You're definitely April Fool's Day.
Is any Friday the 13th. Both of our wives are not your wife. Your both of our significant others are out of town. And we're like, well, what are we gonna do? Let's go live. Let's do a live stream. So.
Sit around. Otherwise, I was just gonna sit around and watch Rockford Files. So
yeah. And once we're done, since I've had a bourbon and a whatever was in this American Party Cup, I'm actually gonna like brainstorm some story ideas because I don't know if you guys knew this, but Weird Frequencies is going to be followed up by another anthology. And this time it's personal. Well, this time I don't want to say too much because I don't know how you knew this. And I don't know if it's public knowledge, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to try to write a story.
I'm saying it's about to be, and I hope it's true because I don't want to get us in trouble.
I'm not even sure what the actual deadline is, but I'm just going to pretend I need to write something. It definitely will not be good enough, but I will send it anyway because at least I can tell myself I at least sent something. Too weird, too frequent. I love that. I can't think of I'm drawing a blank because I was going to do this whole like, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that. And I can't, other than the afterword that's coming out on Sunday, I can't remember what else we're planning on doing.
Oh, well, we're going to have Ishmael on the show. Hopefully,
Yeah.
we had to put him off a little bit because this is a short month. So we're hoping in March to have him. Wait, is this March? Yeah.
March isn't the short month. February is the short month. March is 31 days.
How short February was, man. It blew right past me. No, we're hoping to have him on later this month. So we just got to work out the time and place for him.
So it'd be cool if the other two boxing things come out. They're supposed to be out any day now, I think.
Don't ask me. I don't even know what the hell month it is.
It's March.
Okay.
March 4th. I remember March 4th came and went, and nobody was posting like March 4th memes, but tomorrow's Pie Day, 3.14. So I think I'm going to go get me a chicken pot pie from the Pots and Pans Pie Company in Indianapolis.
Man, I wish I could eat chicken.
Maybe
chicken pot pie is great
sugar creme brulee pie. This place is great. It's called the Pots and Pans Pie Company, and they make the best pie. And so I usually order them ahead of time and go pick them up.
How's their key lime pie? Have you had that?
I have not. Maybe I'll get one.
Oh man, key lime probably my favorite pie.
What's your favorite pie? Tell us in the chat.
Yeah.
So the rest of the video is just going to be us sitting here like, so what are you doing this weekend? Nothing.
More of this, probably doing some writing. I am getting a fair amount of writing done. And I've said this to a couple of people, but Jake screwed up because he broke something loose in me. Take that how you want. And I've been doing nothing but writing any chance I get. So
the last time I asked people to tell us their favorite thing, it was about triangles. I was rewatching when we talked about the witch house, the love. And we had a whole thing about what's your favorite triangle. So now I've asked what people's favorite pie is. Chadwick says pumpkin. Is pumpkin
pie?
Is that an Australian? Are there pumpkins in Australia? Oh, let's show my ignorance. I thought pumpkin was mainly a North American thing.
No,
maybe
it's a small world, man. Maybe he got some DoorDash.
They have planes now. You can fly seeds over to Australia and they can grow pumpkins. But chicken pot is a good pie. Pizza is a good pie.
Yeah.
The number pie. Number pie.
Pumpkin pie is a delivery mechanism for whipped cream. I said what I said.
Anyway, I think we've talked about everything we wanted to talk about.
Yes, I think we have. But you know what we haven't talked about?
What?
An Irish goodbye. Who's still alive?